The invitation. The wind howled through the desolate streets of Hogsmeade as a thick blanket of fog crept in from the nearby forbidden forest. It was a night unlike any other in the wizarding world, an ominous aura hanging in the air. Harry Potter, now a renowned auror, found himself back in the village where he had once sought refuge during his years at Hogwarts. A worn envelope bearing the crest of Grimwood Manor had arrived at Harry's office earlier that day. The handwriting was unfamiliar, yet eerily elegant. The invitation within beckoned him to the long-forgotten estate, promising a reunion of sorts. The words on the parchment seemed to possess an unsettling power, leaving Harry with a sense of unease he couldn't shake. As the clock struck midnight, Harry made his way through the twisted cobblestone streets, his cloak billowing in the wind. The moon was obscured by thick clouds, casting eerie shadows on the cobbled path, leading to Grimwood Manor's imposing gates. The mansion itself stood in eerie silence, its windows dark and foreboding. Harry's footsteps echoed through the overgrown garden as he approached the entrance. The heavy wooden door creaked open with a ghostly groan, revealing a dimly lit hallway beyond. His wand at the ready, Harry cautiously stepped inside, his heart racing. Torchlight flickered on the walls, casting dancing shadows that seemed to whisper secrets. Paintings of somber-faced witches and wizards watched him from their frames, their eyes following his every move. The air grew colder with each step. Harry's breath misted in front of him. Voices murmured in the distance, indistinct and haunting. Following the sound, Harry found himself in a grand ballroom, its chandeliers casting a ghostly glow. Figures dressed in elegant, old-fashioned attire waltzed in an ethereal dance, their movements slow and deliberate. They paid no mind to Harry's presence, lost in their spectral revelry. At the center of the room stood a figure draped in shadows, their back turned to Harry. The figure's presence exuded a chilling aura, and Harry's instincts told him to flee. But curiosity and a sense of duty held him in place. With a steady breath, he called out, "Who are you?" The figure turned, revealing a face shrouded in darkness. It was a face Harry recognized, yet distorted by an otherworldly malevolence. "Welcome, Harry Potter," the figure hissed, its voice a haunting whisper. "You have been chosen to uncover the truth that lies within these walls." Before Harry could react, the figure raised a skeletal hand, and the ballroom seemed to twist and contort. Reality itself shifted, and Harry felt the ground give way beneath him as he plummeted into darkness. The last thing he heard was the chilling laughter that echoed through the void. Echoes of the past. Harry's descent through the darkness felt endless, his heart pounding in his chest. He could hear faint whispers swirling around him, like the distant echoes of forgotten memories. Suddenly, he landed on solid ground with a jolt, the impact knocking the wind out of him. Gasping for breath, Harry looked around, his wand casting a feeble light in the inky blackness. He found himself in a narrow corridor, the walls lined with faded tapestries depicting scenes of ancient battles and mythical creatures. The air was heavy with an oppressive sense of history, and the whispers grew louder, forming eerie words that seemed to echo from the very stones. "Seek the mirror of lost souls," the voices murmured, their tones sending shivers down Harry's spine. He knew he had to uncover the truth behind Grimwood Manor's haunting secrets, and the mirror seemed to hold the key. With a determined resolve, Harry followed the winding corridor, his footsteps echoing off the stone floor. He passed through doorways leading to forgotten chambers, each holding fragments of the past. In one room, A dusty bookshelf was lined with volumes bound in leather that seemed to wriggle with unseen movement. In another, a flickering candle revealed a ghostly figure etched onto the walls, frozen in a pose of eternal agony. Eventually, Harry reached a grand chamber at the end of the corridor. A towering, ornate mirror dominated the room, its surface reflecting a distorted image of Harry himself. But as he studied the mirror, the reflection shifted, revealing scenes of heartache and despair. He saw flashes of lost battles, shattered dreams, and the faces of those who had suffered in the wake of darkness. Approaching the mirror cautiously, Harry reached out to touch its surface. The instant his fingers made contact, the mirror's image shifted again, revealing a figure that sent a jolt of recognition through him. It was a younger version of himself, standing in the very same room. Beside him was a girl with fiery hair and bright eyes, a memory of his first year at Hogwarts. The mirror's voice echoed through the chamber, the words filled with a haunting lament. The mirror reveals truths long buried, reflections of the past that shape the present. Harry's mind raced as he understood the mirror's power. It was not merely a tool of reflection, but a portal into the depths of history and emotion. The mirror showed not only what had happened, but the feelings and fears that had been woven into the fabric of time. As the mirror's glow intensified, Harry's own reflection began to change once more. This time, it showed scenes from his own life, moments of joy and heartache, triumphs and failures. The mirror's voice grew louder, resonating within Harry's very being. To uncover the truth that lies ahead, you must face the shadows within. In the mirror, Harry saw a swirling vortex of darkness approaching, threatening to consume him. His pulse quickened as he realized that to uncover Grimwood Manor's secrets, he would have to confront not only the external horrors, but also the inner demons that had haunted him throughout his life. With a deep breath, Harry steeled himself for the journey ahead. As the darkness engulfed him, the mirror's words echoed in his mind, guiding him through the labyrinth of his own past. The Chamber of Regrets. Harry's surroundings shifted once again as the darkness receded, leaving him standing in a dimly lit chamber. The air was heavy with a palpable sense of sorrow, and the walls seemed to weep with ghostly tears. Before him stood a large stone pedestal, upon which rested a single, ancient tome bound in cracked leather. As he approached, the tome seemed to emit a mournful hum, its pages filled with untold stories of regret and despair. Harry's heart clenched as he reached out to open the book, his fingers tracing the faded text. The pages turned of their own accord, revealing a series of vignettes, each one a glimpse into moments of regret from his past. He watched as memories unfolded before him, moments when he had doubted himself, when he had chosen to act out of fear or anger, when he had let down those he cared about. Faces of friends and loved ones appeared, their expressions a mixture of disappointment and forgiveness. One memory stood out above the rest, a pivotal moment from his time at Hogwarts. It was a scene from the Triwizard Tournament, the maze engulfed in darkness, the weight of the world on his shoulders. He saw himself facing the challenges, his determination slowly eroding as the pressure mounted. And then a figure emerged from the shadows, a familiar face twisted by anger and resentment. It was Cedric Diggory, his once friend, now consumed by bitterness. In the memory, their confrontation escalated, leading to a tragic outcome that Harry had long tried to forget. Tears welled in Harry's eyes as he relived the moment, feeling the weight of his regret and guilt. The chamber seemed to close in around him, the walls pressing in, as if to suffocate him with the weight of his mistakes. But then, a soft voice echoed in the chamber. breaking through the suffocating darkness. Regret is a part of being human, Harry. Startled, Harry turned to see a spectral figure standing beside him. It was a woman with kind eyes and a gentle smile, her presence radiating warmth and understanding. "Lily Potter," Harry whispered, his voice catching in his throat. She nodded, her expression filled with compassion. Regret can be a powerful teacher, guiding us to make better choices. But it can also imprison us if we let it consume us. As Lily spoke, the chamber began to shift and change, the darkness receding to reveal a path leading forward, to uncover the truth that lies within Grimwood Manor. "You must confront your regrets and learn from them," she said. With newfound determination, Harry took a step forward, each footfall echoing with resolve. The memories of his regrets still haunted him, but he understood that he couldn't change the past. What he could do was use those lessons to shape his future and uncover the mysteries of Grimwood Manor. As he walked the path, Lily's voice echoed in his mind, guiding him through the chamber of regrets and towards the next stage of his journey, the whispering shadows. The path led Harry deeper into Grimwood Manor, winding through corridors that seemed to stretch endlessly. The air grew colder, and an unsettling presence seemed to linger at every turn. He could feel the weight of the past pressing down on him, the echoes of history whispering secrets in his ears. Suddenly, the path opened up into a vast chamber, its walls adorned with intricate carvings depicting scenes of darkness and despair. In the center of the chamber stood a towering statue, a fearsome creature with wings outstretched and eyes that glowed with an otherworldly light. The statue's wings seemed to shift and writhe, casting eerie shadows that danced along the walls. Harry's pulse quickened as he realized that the shadows themselves were alive, whispering ancient incantations and secrets from ages past. "Who are you?" Harry demanded, his voice echoing through the chamber. The statue's eyes flickered with a dim light, and a voice filled the air, its tone both haunting and mesmerizing. "I am the Keeper of Shadows, a guardian of the truths that lie within Grimwood Manor." Harry felt a chill run down his spine as he realized the magnitude of what he was facing. The Keeper of Shadows was a sentinel of the Manor's deepest and darkest secrets, a living embodiment of the mysteries that had plagued the estate for centuries. The time has come to confront the darkness that resides within, the Keeper intoned, to unveil the secrets that have remained hidden for far too long. With a wave of its hand, the Keeper summoned swirling shadows that coalesced in ghostly apparitions. Harry watched in awe and trepidation as scenes from Grimwood Manor's history played out before him. He saw acts of betrayal, acts of sacrifice, and moments of unspeakable horror. Amidst the chaos of the shadows, one figure stood out, a witch with fiery hair and a determined expression. It was Isabella Grimwood, the original owner of the manor and a powerful witch who had delved into forbidden magics in her quest for immortality. Shadows revealed her descent into darkness, her gradual transformation into a vengeful entity that haunted the estate even in death. Harry's heart sank as he realized the truth behind Grimwood Manor's haunting. Isabella Grimwood's thirst for power had left an indelible mark on the manor, binding her spirit to its very foundations. The shadows whispered of her anger and bitterness, her unrelenting desire to wreak havoc on the living world. But amidst the darkness, a glimmer of hope emerged. Isabella's tale was one of tragedy and regret, a cautionary tale of the dangers of unchecked ambition. As Harry watched, the shadows shifted once more, revealing Isabella's final moments, a moment of redemption, of regret, and a desperate plea for forgiveness. With a final wave of its hand, the Keeper of Shadows released the swirling maelstrom of darkness, the apparitions dispersing into the air like mist. The chamber fell silent, and the statue's eyes dimmed, its presence receding. Seek the heart of the manor, where light and darkness intertwine, the Keeper whispered, its voice fading like a distant echo. As the chamber returned to stillness, Harry's mind raced with newfound understanding. The heart of the manor held the key to unraveling the mysteries that had plagued Grimwood Manor for generations. With determination in his heart, he continued his journey deeper into the estate, ready to face whatever challenges awaited him. The convergence of light and darkness. The corridors of Grimwood Manor seemed to twist and turn in a dizzying maze as Harry ventured further to the heart of the estate. The air was thick with anticipation, and a sense of impending reckoning hung heavy in the atmosphere. He could feel the very essence of the manor shifting around him, as if the walls themselves were alive with secrets, waiting to be unveiled. Finally, Harry arrived at a grand chamber, unlike any he had seen before. The room was bathed in an eerie, ethereal light that seemed to emanate from an intricate mosaic on the floor. The mosaic depicted a complex interplay of light and darkness, a swirling dance of opposites that merged and separated in a mesmerizing pattern. At the center of the mosaic stood a pedestal, atop which rested a small, ornate box. Its surface seemed to shimmer with a delicate luminescence, drawing Harry's gaze like a moth to a flame. He approached cautiously, his heart pounding in his chest. As Harry reached out to touch the box, the room trembled, and the mosaic beneath his feet began to shift and change. The light and darkness seemed to converge, swirling around him in a hypnotic dance. His surroundings faded, replaced by a surreal dreamscape where reality and illusion merged. In this altered state, Harry found himself face to face with Isabella Grimwood, her form an ethereal apparition. Her eyes held a mixture of sorrow and longing, her presence both haunting and captivating. "Harry Potter," she spoke, her voice carrying a weight of centuries. "You seek the truth that lies within this manor. You seek to uncover the depths of my regrets and the darkness that has consumed me." Harry nodded, his voice steady. "I seek to understand, to bring peace to this place." Isabella's ghostly form wavered, the light and darkness shifting around her. "In life, I yearned for power and immortality. I delved into magics that should have remained untouched. My actions brought suffering, and my desire for eternal life turned me into a vengeful spirit, forever bound to Grimwood Manor." She extended a spectral hand, gesturing to the mosaic beneath them. "But you, Harry Potter, have the power to break this cycle. The convergence of light and darkness holds the key to freeing both me and this estate from its haunted past." With those words, the mosaic's pattern shifted once more, and a brilliant, blinding light enveloped Harry. He felt a surge of energy, a profound connection to the forces at play. "Embrace the balance within," Isabella whispered, her form fading as the light intensified. As the light subsided, Harry found himself back in the grand chamber, the ornate box in his hand. Its surface now pulsed with a harmonious blend of light and darkness, a symbol of the balance Isabella had spoken of. With a sense of purpose, Harry opened the box, revealing a gemstone of exquisite beauty, a radiant gem that seemed to hold the very essence of the convergence he had witnessed. As he held the gem, Harry felt a surge of power and understanding. The gem was a talisman of balance, a symbol of unity between opposing forces. It was the key to dispelling the darkness that had plagued Grimwood Manor for so long. Armed with newfound resolve, Harry made his way back through the winding corridors of the manor, the gemstone glowing in his hand. He knew that by harnessing the convergence of light and darkness, he could break the curse that had bound Isabella's spirit and set Grimwood Manor free from its haunted past. The final confrontation awaited him, and Harry was prepared to face it with the wisdom he had gained from his journey through the heart of the manor. The liberation. As Harry retraced his steps through Grimwood Manor, the air seemed to shift, carrying an almost palpable tension. He knew that the culmination of his journey awaited him, the moment when he would confront Isabella Grimwood's vengeful spirit and release her from the cycle of darkness. The corridors seemed to twist and elongate, leading him once again to the grand ballroom, where his journey had begun. The chandeliers cast a soft, flickering light, and the echoes of the spectral waltz still lingered in the air. Isabella's ghostly figure appeared before him, her eyes holding a mixture of trepidation and longing. "You return, Harry Potter," she whispered, her voice a delicate echo. Harry held out the gemstone, its radiance piercing through the shadows that clung to the corners of the room. "Isabella, your spirit is trapped in this cycle of darkness. But there is a way to break free, to find peace." Isabella's form wavered, the darkness around her seeming to recede. "And what must I do? The balance of light and darkness is the key," Harry replied. "Embrace the lessons of your regrets and seek forgiveness. Let go of the anger and bitterness that bind you." As Harry spoke, the gemstone pulsed with a soft, soothing light, casting a warm glow that bathed the ballroom. The apparitions of Isabella's past flickered and wavered, their expressions shifting from torment to introspection. Isabella's gaze locked onto the gemstone, her eyes welling with tears. "I am weary, Harry, weary of this endless cycle, of the weight of my own mistakes." "You have the power to break free," Harry urged gently. With a deep breath, Isabella closed her eyes, her form slowly dissipating like mist in the morning sun. The darkness that had enveloped her for centuries seemed to unravel, vanishing into the ether. In its place, a brilliant, ethereal light radiated, filling the room with a sense of serenity. Isabella's spirit reformed, her presence transformed into one of peace and resolution. "Thank you, Harry Potter," she whispered, her voice a soothing melody. As Isabella's spirit gradually faded, a warm wind swept through the ballroom, carrying with it a sense of closure and finality. The chandeliers ceased their flickering, and the spectral figures that had danced in the shadows finally stilled. Grimwood Manor itself seemed to sigh with relief, its ancient stones releasing the burden they had borne for generations. The manor's haunting presence lifted, replaced by a tranquil stillness that filled the air. Harry watched as the gemstone's light dimmed, its purpose fulfilled. With a sense of accomplishment, he placed it back inside the ornate box, closing it with a satisfying click. As he stepped out of Grimwood Manor, the first rays of dawn began to illuminate the sky. The village of Hogsmeade greeted him with a renewed sense of vitality, as if the weight of the manor's curse had lifted from its shoulders as well. Harry knew that his journey had come to an end, but the lessons he had learned and the truths he had uncovered would stay with him forever. As he walked away from Grimwood Manor, he felt a sense of closure and a newfound understanding of the intricate balance between light and darkness. Season 1 had concluded, but the echoes of his adventure would continue to reverberate, shaping the path of his future and the legacy of Grimwood Manor for generations to come. End of Season 1.